mention any the fifth any type. The fifth any type or the fifth any situation. What is any the fifth any situation? And he said, hiya al-mu'tadatu ghayrul mumayyiza. So, the mutahayyira is what we mentioned. She is mu'tada. Yani someone who has experienced menses and she is not able to distinguish the color of the blood. So, part of her is mu'tada ghayr mumayyiza. That's what we mentioned in number 4 earlier. Mu'tada ghayr mumayyiza. Yani she has experienced any menses and she is not able to distinguish the color of the blood. But there is something in addition. So this point number 1, we say mu'tada. The habitual one. Point number 2 is ghayr mumayyiza. She is not able to distinguish the color of the blood. And point number 3 is what Imam Bayjuri mentioned here, an-nasiyatu li'adatiha qadran wa waqtan. So we have qadran number 3, waqtan number 4. She forgot how many days is the menses before, and when does the menses start, whether it is in the beginning of the month, or in the middle of the month, or in the end of the month. She totally forgot. Forgot. Meaning if you ask her, how many days have you experienced any menses last time, before this? She will say, I cannot remember. I cannot remember the number of days that I had any menses, and I cannot remember which part of the month that the menses starts. This is the meaning of qadran wa waqtan. Qadr is number of days. Waqtan is the time when which part of the month does the menses come. You see some woman for example, the menses come in the first week. Some women, for example, in the second week or third week or fourth week. Some people say, for example, the first 10 days or second 10 days or the third some people in the middle of the month, some people in the beginning of the month. This is what we meant. Waqt, which part of the month. So she said she forgot the time of the month and also the number of days. So this is the definition of mutahayyira. This is the definition. So how many things we have? Number 1, she is mu'tada. Number 2, ghayr mumayyiza. Number 3, nasiyah qadran, forgot the number of days, waqtan, and the time. So there are 4 conditions or 4 things that is related to the mutahayyira. The meaning of mutahayyira there are actually 2 ways of saying it. Mutahayyira or mutahayyara. Mutahayyira meaning she confuses others. She confuses or she make others in abasement or in a state of confusion. In this case she make the faqih, the person who specializes in fiqh, to be in a state of difficulty and confusion because of this difficulty to ascertain which is menses and which is istihada. There is another way of saying it by the fatha, we say mutahayyara, that she herself is confused. So either she is confusing the faqih or she becomes confused herself. So both can be what you call it can be mentioned, whether we say the mutahayyira or the mutahayyara. But usually our scholars they use mutahayyira. So this is the situation of the mutahayyira. So again I repeat, mutahayyira, mu'tada, the person who has experienced menses and she cannot distinguish the color of the blood, and she forgot the number of days that she used to have menses and the time of the month that she saw blood in the past. So our scholars mentioned, is this possible to have mutahayyira in the first place? Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. How can this be possible? It can be possible an example. For example, a woman, for example, saw blood for the first time menses, for example she saw blood for 6 days. She saw blood for 6 days, and then the blood stops. So we say khalas, this is menses. And then after 10 years no blood. After that 10 years she did not experience any menses. And after 10 years the blood came again. But this time it came more than 15 days. For 20 days for example. So in this situation we ask her, 10 years ago when you first had your menses, because earlier I mentioned the principle in fiqh, tasbutul adatu bi marrah, the norm is established even once, and even she experienced one menses, she is considered to be mu'tada and not mubtada'a. So, but the problem is any after 10 years. After 10 years, any she experienced any menses. So she said that I forgot everything. I forgot any the number any of days, and I forgot any the time any of my menses any last time. So this is one any of the examples any that can possibly any happen to a lady who we consider her any to be mutahayyira. Then any the author any speaks any about the rulings. So if you have such any a person any for example that is in this any situation, so how any do we ascertain any for her when is the menses and when is istihada? So this is what any he said. بأن سبق لها حيض وطهر ولم تعلم عادتها قدرا ووقتا فهي كحائض. This is any the ruling here. فهي كحائض في أحكام كحرمة التمتع بها والقراءة في غير الصلاة احتياطا لأن كل زمن يمر عليها يحتمل الحيض وكطاهر في أحكام الصلاة والصوم احتياطا. So subhanallah, yani we treat her yani to be both menses and pure, to be both any in a state any of menses and both any in a state of istihada, yani in state of pureness. So now in any moment she is both, because there is a possibility that in any moment she is in a state of menses, and at the same time also there is a possibility that she is in a state any of purity, that is in a state of istihada, she is not having menses. So in this any situation, it is prohibited any for her to do everything that is prohibited any for a woman any who is having any menses, and at the same time it is obligatory any for her to perform the acts that are obligatory for women who are not having menses. So meaning it is not any permissible any for her to recite any the Quran outside prayers, because there is a possibility that she is having menses, and it is wajib any upon her to perform any the prayers, the 5-time daily prayers, because there is a possibility that she is not any having menses any at that time. So she have to do both. She have any to abstain the things. She have any to abstain any the things that are prohibited for a woman any who is having menses, and at the same time it is compulsory upon her to perform the obligatory acts which are obligatory for women who are not having menses. So the author any is saying, as a woman any who is having any menses, the things any that are prohibited, and he said kahurmati tamattu'i biha, it is not permissible for the husband any to have any sexual and intimacy and sexual intercourse any with her, because there is a possibility she's having menses. And likewise it is not permissible for her to recite the Quran, because there is a possibility that she is having menses. But it is wajib any upon her to perform the prayers, because there is a possibility that she is not having menses. So the possibility of having menses and not having menses, this result in the obligation any for her to abstain from the things that are haram any for a woman who is having menses, and at the same time it is obligatory for her to perform the things which are obligatory for a woman any who is not having menses. So it is wajib upon her to perform the prayers and fasting in the month of Ramadan. It is wajib any upon her to perform any the prayers and to fast any in the month any of Ramadan ihtiyatan, yani as to play safe. Ihtiyat any meaning basically in our language and we say to play safe, because every moment any that pass there is a possibility that she's having menses, but and at the same time also there is a possibility that she is not any having any menses. And then he mentioned وَتَغْتَسِلُ لِكُلِّ فَرْضٍ فِي وَقْتِهِ, and before she perform prayers wajib she bathe first. So for the 5-time daily prayers, before she perform the Fajr prayers, before she perform the Zohar prayers, before she perform the Asr prayers, before she perform the Maghrib prayers, before she perform the Isha prayers, it is wajib any upon her any to bathe the obligatory bath before she perform, because earlier we mentioned that it is wajib any for her any to perform the prayers, but she cannot be performing any prayers any without bathing, because there is a possibility any that she is preceded any by menses, and in between prayers. So she has any to bathe any for every any prayers after the time of prayer after the time of the prayers any has come. So she carries any the ruling any of istihada, that she has any to perform any the prayers, and she has any to wash any the private parts, and then immediately take the ablution and immediately perform any the prayers. So this ruling is the same as salatul bawl and istihada. as what we mentioned before this. So when the time comes for Isha, for example, she bathe and then she wash the private parts and take any ablution, and then perform the prayers immediately. All this has to be done muwala, yani in a state of what you call it, continuity. So this one in the author mentioned وَتَغْتَسِلْ لِكُلِّ فَرْدٍ فِي وَقْتِهِ لِاحْتِمَالِ الْإِنْقِطَاعِ حِينَئِذٍ إِنْ جَهِلَتْ وَقْتَ إِنْقِطَاعِ الدَّمِ. This is a situation where she does not know and she forgot when in the past menses that the blood stops, that the blood of the menses stops. She forgot. Yani not only she forgot the number of days, she forgot, not only she forgot the time when she had any menses last time, but also she forgot when does the blood stops, which part of the day, whether in the morning or in the afternoon, she forgot. So if she forgot, then she have to bathe 5 times a day. For every prayer, she has to perform the ghusl, and then perform the prayer. So this is the first situation. She forgot the time where the blood stops. Then the author mentioned something else. The author said, فَإِنْ عَلِمَتْهُ, if she knows when does the blood stops, she remembered meaning you have mu'tada ghayru mumayyiza, who forgot the number of days, forgot the time, but she remembered the time when the blood stops, and she said before Maghrib my blood stopped, I remember. MashaAllah, this is going to be much easier for her if at least she remembered when the blood stops. So the author gave the example كأن عرفت أنه كان ينقطع عند الغروب. So the author says that when the time of the sun set, time of Maghrib, she said that I remember that this is the time my blood stops last time. And in this situation it becomes easy for her. Why? So he said فلا يلزمها الغسل إلا عند الغروب. So there is no need for her to bathe 5 times a day, as what we mentioned in the first situation. Because now she remembered when does the blood stops. She remembered when does the blood stops. In the first situation she forgot even when the blood stops. So if she remembered that the blood stops at sunset, then it is only wajib for her to bathe at the time of Maghrib. Before she perform the Maghrib prayers, she perform only one bath, or the ghusl bath, and she perform the Maghrib prayers. For the rest of the prayers, she just take wudu. So no need for her to bathe 5 times a day. The only time that she has to bathe is the time of Maghrib. Because why? Because she remembered that the menses stopped at the time of Maghrib. So this is what the author mentioned, إِلَّا عِنْدَ الْغُرُوبِ وَتَتَوَضَّعُ لِبَاقِ الْفَرَائِدِ. So for the rest of the prayers, that's what I mentioned, she only takes ablution. So for Isha prayer, she takes ablution. Ablution in the case of istihada, that's what we mentioned, muwala and all these things. Fajr prayers, Zohor prayers, Asr prayers, but only for Maghrib she has to bathe. So I hope it is clear, inshallah. لباقي الفرائض لاحتمال الانقطاع عند الغروب. لاحتمال الانقطاع عند الغروب دون ما عداه, because there is a possibility that the blood stops at the time of sunset, because she has experienced it. So that is why it is only wajib for her to bathe after that sunset. Watasumu Ramadan. Then the author goes to speak about fasting in the month of Ramadan. So if you have such a situation, how does a person fast in the month of Ramadan? Earlier we mentioned every day there is a possibility that she is having menses and she is not having menses. So there are 2 possibilities. So when it comes into the month of Ramadan, it is wajib for her to fast, because there is a possibility that she is not having menses. But the problem is, how does she perform the fasting? So this is the solution that the author is saying. So the author is saying, وَتَصُومُ Ramadan summa shahran kamilan. She has to fast the whole month of Ramadan. She has to fast the whole month of Ramadan and 1 more month. So 2 months. She has to fast the whole month of Ramadan and 1 more month. Why one more month? Because now the thing is, the maximum number of menses is 15 days. And the minimum number of clean days is 15 days. So in 1 month, we take the maximum number of days. That is 15 days. So in 1 month, 15 days, we take as menses. So how many days you are left with? you are left with 15 days. So if she fasts the month of Ramadan, meaning half of the month she fasts, and half of the month is not counted as fasting because she is in a state of menses. So meaning 15 days will be counted as days that are valid for her to fast. Days that are valid for her to fast. So she has to fast the whole month of Ramadan. So the whole month of Ramadan, half will be valid. Correct or not? Half will be valid. So we take 15. 15 menses. 15 is not any menses. So if she fasts the whole month, so meaning 15 days is what you call it is counted. The other 15 days is not counted. So that is why she has to fast another month. This is the rationale why she has to fast one more month. So if she fasts 1 more month, then she will get another half of it. But the problem is this. Imagine Ramadan is 30 days. So she fasts day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6. We regard the first 15 days as normal days, not menses, normal days. So day 1, day 2, day 3, all the way until day 15, we regard as normal days. So when does the menses come? When does the menses come? The menses come on day 15 itself. Because why? You see, there is a difference between the beginning of the day in Islam, that is the time of sunset, and the beginning of fasting. So imagine day 15. She fasted day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day all the way to day 11, 12, 13, 14. When she comes to day 15, what happens? Because we have to remember day 15 starts on the Maghrib of day 14. Correct or not? Day 15 starts from the Maghrib of day 14. So day 15 begins on day 14 Maghrib, and it ends until day 15 what you call it, day 15 Maghrib. But now the situation is after she completed 14 days. That means when comes to day 15, part of the day will not be valid. Part of the day will not be valid because the menses comes in. So that is why we only take 14 days. We only take 14 days. The same goes for the menses start, the half of the month of menses. So if we assume for example day 16, day 17, day 18, all the way until day 30, we cannot count day 16. We have to count from day 17 because there is a clash between the beginning of the day and the beginning of dawn. The beginning of day and beginning of dawn. So the gray area is basically what I'm trying to say is day 15 for the first 15 days, and day 16 for the second 15 days. So we do not count day 15 and day 16. So how many days we get? We get 14 days from the first part of the month, and 14 days from the second part of the month. So these are for the 2 months. 14 days for month 1, 14 days for month 2. So we have 28 days. But Ramadan is 30 days. Then she has to fast another 2 days. Then she has to fast another. She has to fast another 2 days. This is what basically the author is saying. The author is saying summa shahran kamilan fayabqa alayha yawmani. So there are 2 days that is left. لِاحْتِمَالِ أَنْ يَطْرَعَ عَلَيْهَا الْحَيْض فِي أَثْنَاءِ الْيَوْمِ الْأَوَّلِ مع احتمال كونها تحيض أكثر الحيض. Because this, as what I mentioned, there are possibilities of what you call it, the day 15 and day 16, because there is a interlapping of menses and also the starting of the new day. So we cannot regard 2 days. So she has to fast for 2 months and 2 days. So inshallah for our lesson today, and we have to stop here because of the time of Isha. And inshallah next week we will continue, and next week also inshallah we speak about the 6th type that is coming, and then we are left with the type number 7. والله أعلم بالصواب. ربنا تقبل دعانا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم واختم بصالحات أعمالنا وآجرنا الله يا كريم بفضل سبحان ربك بالعزة عما يصفون. سلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.